You know who the new guy is?
No, but
Richard Holden.
Yeah, hasn't he been parachuted in apparently? Yeah. I didn't like him on the news last night.
They're now behind him. The local Tories have now said they support him.
Right, okay.
Do you know who this is?
No idea.
Do you know who this guy is?
No, I don't actually. No, because I don't follow it, see?
He's the Tory candidate for your constituency for Billericay and Basildon.
Well, he hasn't been at my door. I want you to hear that.
Who is this guy? The locals in Billericay don't seem to know, and that might be a problem for the local Tory party, seeing as they've just parachuted in.
Richard Holden.
Peeps, it's a general election. Peeps, it's a general election.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll most probably end up voting Tory in the end. That's how you do.
The way you have been parachuted into Basildon and Billericay.
You're not denying it's a stitch-up and it's anti-democratic.
Emily Thornberry today has
I'm going
admitted...
to stop you now. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Councillor Phil Turner. I'm the Deputy Chairman Political for the Basildon and Billericay Association.
It has been levelled at him that it's something of a stitch-up. Would you agree with that?
I think if you look at the process, it leaves you to a conclusion of gerrymandering. But trust me, if it had been, and we would have got a candidate that we could see was a lame duck, he would not have got that support. We had three options. One, we could support him. One, we could just walk away as an association, leave him to himself. And the other one was we could have put up an independent candidate. Mm-hmm. That would have caused all sorts of ramifications. But we were prepared to do that. In fact, on the night, we were speaking to people who were prepared to do that. And as I say, to his credit, he managed to convince the executive that he was worth backing. And that's what we did, and did it unanimously.
What did you think of the interview with Richard Holden on Sky yesterday, Sunday?
Scandalous, ridiculous, puerile. I could think of a few other less graceful words for it, but that was what used to happen 20 years ago when you used to get people like Blair just answering the same question or giving the same answer to 5 or 6 different questions time after time to make sure he got his point across. That may have worked 20 years ago. It doesn't work now, and I think it was a sign of weakness and sheepishness, I think, on behalf of Holden. I think he just didn't come across well at all. As I said, I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, listen to what he had to say, but after watching that, I can't vote for him.
I'm going to spoil my ballot.
Because?
I truly don't believe that any party is better than the other at this point.
Tell me more about that.
I feel particularly let down by the Conservative Party because of their behaviour. Some individuals, not all.
What do you think they've done badly over the last 14 years?
I'm mainly just looking at the time over COVID, party at my place sort of thing, Boris-wise.
I think it's written on the cards that Labour are going to get in, unfortunately. But from my point of view, I still haven't heard how Labour are actually going to do what they say they're going to do. There's lots of, we want to do this, and they keep looking at the past record of the Conservatives. But it's about what's happened now and what they're going to do in the future. So, sorry, the dog. And I do think that changes have been made, and I think we need to continue to see those changes out. And I just think changing would be a complete stop in that, and we'll have to start again. And it's how long do we keep stopping and starting?
Being very selfish, I am concerned about my pension. So I like the idea of the triple lock, whoever gives it to me. Basically, it's the NHS and Palestine.
I think most people here are very Conservative. Although I do think we need a bit more in the high street, because I think it seems to be shutting the same with everywhere.
Are you happy with what they've done in this constituency?
Yeah, I am really, yeah. So it most probably better the devil you know, the devil you don't know.
Are you happy with what they've done with the country?
Not really, no.
Okay. So you might change your mind this year and vote for someone else?
I might well do. Nigel Farage.
Yeah.
That's the one that I just need to know a little bit about him. Do you know what I mean? Oh. No? No.
So I think the Conservatives had an 80-seat majority when they came in, and they've absolutely squandered it. Everything they've touched has fallen apart. And normally I would vote Conservative, and we had a really good MP here, John Barron. I don't know, has he retired or what? I mean, I don't know. Do you know why?
He stepped down.
He stepped down?
Stepped down.
Certainly I'm considering voting for Reform.
On what grounds? Like, what is it they're offering that you find appealing?
Well, the solutions that they have, particularly the economic ones, seem to be sensible, and ones that, if I were in power, I would say that's a really good idea. Yeah, do it. And for some reason, I don't know, the Conservatives seem to abjure anything that would be good for the ordinary man in the street. And
are you comfortable voting for a party that seemed to be more right-wing than the Tories?
Well, the Tories aren't right-wing. The Tories are centre or slightly right of centre, and I've read quite a bit about Reform and about Farage, and I can't say that they're not right-wing in the sense of right-wing of some of the parties on the continent or of the old National Front. They're merely to the right, but they're nowhere near right-wing. That's a ludicrous thing to say, really. It's quite laughable, actually.
They were given a fantastic majority, and they just threw it away. And the worst thing of it all is Labour are even more shocking. You know, if you think when the Labour Party collapsed when the Tories got in, they were under Corbyn, and they were in a shocking state. Ultra lefty. I just don't go there.
I'll be honest. The only thing I think this country's going down the pan. I've only just started a new job. I used to be in construction, and the whole reason I've come out of construction is because the market's saturated, and now I've got an office job. I don't really know what I'm doing, but you know, I'm finding my feet. But the whole reason why I want to do it is so I can work remote at some point and in a different country, just because everything's just going down the pan here.
But, I mean, the Tories have been in power for 14 years. Does that mean that you think there should be a change?
I mean, yeah, why not? I feel like no matter what happens, the world's just, I don't know, England as a whole, I feel like a lot of people were quite opinionated, and I just feel like the younger generation, I say younger generation, I'm 30, I just don't feel like they're in control of anything. I know it sounds really silly, you're probably thinking, oh, what are you talking about? But
are you going to vote?
Probably not.
I don't think I can ask anything else, really.
In spite of COVID, and I lost my mum during COVID, I couldn't see why we couldn't give Boris another stab at it.
Okay, so you would have liked to see Boris stay in power?
Yes, I think I would.
Okay. Tell me.
Labour.
First person we've heard that said that in this constituency. Why are you going to vote Labour?
I'm from Hornchurch, okay. Which is also a Conservative area anyway at the moment. There needs to be a change, big change.
What do you think the Tories have gone wrong with?
I don't know how they've managed to go wrong, but they've gone from one of the record-breaking landslides, Johnson against Corbyn, to now facing annihilation. And there's a problem with the infighting between them. Too many people are lacking experience. The Prime Minister's younger than me, and that says something. But I just think Labour have been in the shadows for long enough. They've got experienced shadow cabinet members, and that they are able to do a job like that.
Well, we're getting a lot of reform on the streets here. Does that surprise you?
You mean Reform UK?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say nothing about them, but they can go away to Clacton and stay there.
So you don't like Nigel Farage?
The man's evil, he's dangerous, and he needs locking up.
Reform.
Why?
Because I'm fed up with the current government.
Why?
They're not doing what they promised.
Did you vote for them?
I did vote for them, and I have always voted for Conservative, but I'm not inclined to anymore.
Specifically, what do you think they failed on?
Immigration, pensions. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
I just think the problem is there's too many people, and we've got to get the NHS under control. And thankfully, we're lucky at immigration in a way, because it's keeping the NHS going, and that is, thank God we are, you know. But you go to make an appointment, and do something, and you just can't get anywhere, you know.
But so you're saying that on the one hand we need immigrants to keep the NHS going, but on the other hand it's a problem because they're taking appointments away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My concern is having an MP from another constituency parachuted in, who knows nothing about the place, who has been forced on us by Conservative head office. Well, they've always said if you stuck a pig with a blue rosette in front of the electorate, they would get voted in Billericay. I think this could be the exception. I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I think there's enough Conservatives here that will stay loyal to make it difficult for Labour to get in, or the Liberal Democrats or Reform. But I would say it's too close to call it. Certainly not a safe Tory seat anymore.
The Tories have been in power here since 1966. Do you think this is the year that things might change for them?
Anything's possible. I think it's going to be harder with the backdrop of the national picture. So yeah, we've got to be absolutely on our game. I mean, there's no denying it. But I think the choices are becoming clear, and the reason we've had Conservatives since 1966 is because those values that I spoke about, that's what matters most to my residents.
What are those values, if you could sum them up?
So it's a sense of fairness, sense of justice, not being penalised for working hard and having all that tax come out of your salary.
You're not worried about reform?
Reform will have a following, absolutely. But again, if you look at their manifesto, which they've just recently put out, it's unaffordable. And while I could say, actually, there's going to be quite a lot of support for that, it's never going to materialise, not ever.
I've lived here 40 years, and not once have we had anybody knock on our door.
Hey, I'm going to stop it now. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You said in an interview earlier this year you were bloody loyal to the North East. What happened to that?